What's up, everybody? And before we get going, you know what it is. We got to give a quick shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you to Tony, Starla, Sam, Luke, Jacob, and Tyler. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. You guys are fucking amazing.
They are amazing. And I always want to say one thing or another. I've got an idea that I'm going to send a message into the Patreon group because I have a different spin I'm going to try on doing things with videos. And I'll just say this real quick. Instead of Legends of Luke, I'm not going to go away from that. That's one thing we had talked about, but I have been seeing Ashley and Willow have been coming to see me a lot during my break now, and that's normally whenever I would do. I mean, ever since the Mad Delivery guy first started, anything I ever done was always on break time. So I haven't really done a lot because they've been. So I thought about I've got an idea of putting it in to make a closer look, show them a little bit of the personal side, and I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, you guys are awesome, and we thank you.
Hell yeah. Well, guys, we got episode 154 coming your way. I mean, I got stories from this past week. Luke's got fucking many stories from this past week. I guess let's just get the ball rolling, shall we? Episode 154. Here we go. We got to this one address. I said, this one goes around back. He went around back, boom, drove off, left them right at the stop.
That was after getting hit by a car.
You got hit by a car?
I ended up drinking 24 Bud Lights in about 48 minutes. Drunken nomad stumbles out in the road and he hit me going 30 miles an hour.
What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining us on this episode of All in the Delivery. This is episode 154. Where to start? Well, start with the intro, shall we? You guys know him, my co-host down in West by God, Virginia.
Fuck.
Come here, let me see you. Luke, how is it hanging, bud?
Oh, dude, it's I'll just say
to the left.
I'll just say
liar, come on. Liar.
I'll get it. Oh, yeah, I know. I had to think about it, though. I know that's like your top quotable movie, though. We've talked about this. It's not one of my top ones, but it's up there. I can quote it pretty well. Not as good as you, though. But I would say I'll get into it more later. But the water, if anything, said, "Come here and let me see you." In this neck of the woods this week. But as the work week ended, I'll tell you, it made me laugh because I was telling Dave today when we were on the phone that, whenever I listen to Spotify, that's what I listen to podcasts on. And I only have, it's grown exponentially now because I used to only listen to two for like a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And now I've got, it's not that many, but it's, I think there's 5, and it goes between us and the Undertaker's podcast called 6 Feet Under, Historically High, the New Heights podcast, and Joe Rogan. And, it just randomly goes through, sometimes at the end of episodes, but it always skips in between. Like it doesn't, if it's on us, it never goes to the next episode. It'll just go to something else. But anyway,
sure.
I said it last week for Nano's episode that I army crawled to the end of the week and it was a long week. And the saying goes, sometimes you have no idea what's coming. Holy shit. So the week itself, I drug to the finish line. For a second week. You worked a little bit longer than I did tonight to cap it off, but I'm doing good, brother.
Good. Yeah, where, Fridays are the new busiest days of the week now for us or for me, or I don't know. But you know what I think it is? And I don't think I ever had this, like, I never really had this issue on my old route, the route I got bit off. And because it was in a whole different loop. So, like, I'm in the 38 loop now, and I used to be in the 32 loop. But the 38 loop, like, all the guys in the 38 loop use their 8-hour requests, like, on Fridays. So, like, you know, it varies almost. I think every Friday there's an 8-hour request in my loop. So every Friday, I'm just getting fucked. like I think that's what's happening. But hey, hopefully not. Hopefully not for much longer. Hopefully not for much longer, as we talked about last episode, man. Hopefully to get back out there to the 32 loop. But yeah. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes down, because every time I put in an 8-hour for a Friday, it gets denied. Because I think there's too many.
Yeah, dude.
Guys that have more seniority than me in that loop.
And that can always that can easily make your day brutal, because you know everybody that's in our line of work knows how that goes. And the weird, I mean, it's funny you say that, because I was hearing a driver this morning talking to a supervisor. I guess he was going to go over 9-5 again, and it was like, they said, well, if we send people to help you, then they're going over 9-5. So it's like either one of you or whatever. So basically, that dude didn't get any help. But it made me think for a minute that I really do like the placement of my route, because I'm right at the boundary of the other center closest to us. And I'll see 2 drivers from that center sometimes in passing, just because I loop around into their territory to get back to mine, and then they do the same. So every now and again I'll see them, but I just thought that I don't really have to deal, because there's just 2 routes out there at the very end. Me and shout out to Stoniker, and I don't have to worry about, like, it's kind of set. So I'll have to, one of these days. Well, I'll have to see if John would want to get on the podcast, because the talk about stories. Fuck, man, I might have to wait till he retires, which should be pretty soon. When he retires, I might get him on the podcast. But I mean, not just he, but you know, he's a 30-year driver, or just about. I think next year he'll be a 30-year driver. But you know, I didn't. It's funny. It's just like you saying it, like, with you always have 8 hours revolving on a Friday. I'm not in really that kind of the, I guess, the action where a lot of routes are uncertain, and it makes me want to stay on that route a little bit longer. But man, I don't know. I get stir crazy, dude. That's why I'm excited for you to get on a new route that I know it's not a cover. I mean, I know it's going to be your permanent route, but just to even have the change makes, just because I love my people. I love the dogs. And I guess I'll go ahead. I put this in the docs because I did mention this on last week's episode. So I'll say it again, because he was worth it on that. But I lost one of my original, he was 15 and his name was Tebow. And I don't know. It made me, I've had to go out there a couple times, and I realized this is going to sound fucking weird to even say it like this. I realized there was times I'm not going to want to be on my route when all these dogs die off. And I was like, even when they get replaced, I was like, God, I'm so sentimental that I'm going to be just going to houses being like, I can't stay on that route for 20 years, dude, because I'll be an emotional fucking mess. But I mean, bottom line though, it's, you know, it's nice to have. There's pros and cons to having, you know, there's a lot of, it's who you're beside, and everybody, that we don't have to get into that. Some people will, you know, you may have to help get the green light. Everybody's had it, and it's just about, you know, trying. But when you have your own route though, no matter what, like, you can always be slammed, but there when you have your own route, you know at least where you're going to be. Like on a Friday, you might be, you know what I mean? Like you could be somewhere on a country route 2 hours away, or be right in a urban area banging out fucking 30 stops an hour. You know, it's
at the end of the month is when they're going to be putting it up. So putting up the bid route. So yeah, but it's so funny though, because like I only told 2 people that I was interested in this route. At just like fucking middle school. Though this the word in these buildings spread just like
it's bad. And I feel like that's a universal thing.
Dude, I've had so many people like, "Oh, you're interested in taking taxes route? Oh, you're gonna bid taxes route? Oh," and it's, dude, I'm just like, I only told 2 people.
Like, why don't you motherfuckers just mind your own business? What I'm doing?
Fucking, dude, it's so funny. It's just like, I'm gonna start a lie and tell like one person and see how far it goes.
Dude, you're going straight Tyrion Lannister them, Game of Thrones style. Oh, dude, if you got anybody listening, they got the heads up now.
Fuck yeah.
If they never watched Game of Thrones, they'll get, well, you could probably Google it real quick, but that's anybody that's seen it's a very Tyrion Lannister-ish move there. Genius move, by the way. It's a very, very smart.
Oh yeah,
very smart.
Hey, I'm smarter than I look.
Well, let me. Speaking of big noggins, you want to bring up what happened
in the beginning of the week.
And this is the beginning of the week, and I can say I'm curious. This ought to be a question of the week, just because I'm curious how many drivers have experienced this. But go ahead.
I mean, I even called my dad and I told him what happened. 30-year driver, never had it happen to him before. So,
and we're assuming this is a Mastiff, right? Something with a big ass head.
It's a big head. That dog had a big
Corso,
head.
Mastiff, big fucking dog, something like that.
But the dog is a psychopath, an absolute psychopath. Like, this dog's not trained whatsoever, and the owner is this like tiny, petite, blonde woman, probably in her 50s, and this dog is just
it's perfect
massive.
For not being able to restrain this massive dog.
Right, perfect to be able to restrain a dog. So I had a package for this house that needed a signature. And just like every good UPS driver does, we beeped the horn at every stop to create awareness. Well, I definitely created some awareness. And this dog created some awareness as well for the owner, that's for sure. And, I rolled up to the house. And, like, I know, I've already been to the house before many times. I know the dog is just crazy. Always crazy. Every time I'd roll up to the house before, she might be outside with the dog, like, on a leash. Like, I'm waiting for this dog to start dragging this woman. But I come out of the truck, she'd be like, "Oh, just put it down there. I'll grab it." Because the dog's trying to get at me, and so I'm like, "Oh, sure. Yeah, drop it right there in the grass, as soon as I stepped out of the truck, and see ya." So, but this one time, though, I needed a signature. So, like I said, beep, beep. Tap the horn when I come to the stop. As soon as I turned the truck off, dude, I
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I turned dude, it's exactly what happened. I turned the truck off and it was like, and I looked over and this dog's head is through the front living room window. Buddy, just when I beeped the horn, this dog must have got up so fucking quick. And here I'm just like, holy shit. First of all, like, that's the thoughts running through my head now. I'm like, one, is this dog about to get out? Two, is the woman even home? Because I don't even see a car in the driveway. Three, like, there's just so many thoughts going through my head. And I pretended I didn't see it or hear it. Went in the back of the truck, got the package, and then I step out, and the woman's like is just yelling at his dog. Obviously, just absolute yelling. And dude, I walk up to the porch, and I'm just like, do I knock? Like, do I knock and drive this dog even more crazy? Or because I hear the woman inside, the woman definitely knows I'm there because this dog just busted through the fucking front window. So, dude, I was just like, all right, I've never had an issue here. It's one lonely house in the middle of all these farm fields. I was just like, I just fucking dropped it and
didn't you hear it go out the other window or something?
Dude,
Wasn't
yeah.
there something?
So like as I'm like walking up, it goes to the window on the other side of the door. And it's like clawing at that window and shit. And like trying to get out, and I hear the woman just yelling. And I was like, holy shit. So I come through again, a couple days later. Not at that house. Well, actually I did go to that house. But a couple days later though, when I didn't have a package for them, and she's got cardboard in the front window now, and like all the blinds are shut too, I noticed, which was new. So like she's just making sure anyway this dog cannot see outside.
She's trying to not have this dog bulling a china shop or fucking house.
Never had that happen. Like I've always seen the videos, like on social media where there's a compilation of dogs breaking through either the front door or a window
right.
or something, and then you see the delivery driver just fucking take off running. But
well, dude, that's the thing, man. When you hear that glass break, you're like, oh shit, this is business. Yeah, like that motherfucker could come out now.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, dude. I couldn't believe it. What I saw and heard, and I was like, oh my god.
And that makes it like I couldn't imagine. I've never had anything like that ever happen where they busted through the window with their head or anything. But I can remember one time this dude, and they were so well trained, and I'll tell you, I was willing to accept defeat on that one. I mean, I probably would have fought him once they started mauling me, but I couldn't have got to my fucking. So this was a stop that. On a route I used to cover a lot. I don't really get the area anymore. Sometimes I'll get stuff around it, but this fucking hold on, I had to think twice about this one real quick. This there was two dogs, but this one in the back, the very back stop, the one was suspect on the left, but this isn't the fucking. I had an issue with that one, but that's not as good of a story. So this dude had two German Shepherds in the fucking very back of this dead end road, and they were always inside. But when he was out, if they were out, he was out. And they were so well fucking trained that if he said whatever, dude, they didn't, but they looked like they wanted to fucking kill me. I mean, he had them trained to be protectors. Not like, we're not talking Michael. I hate to fucking say Michael Vick because he's paid his debt, but we're not talking about dog fighting here. Like fucking say that he just had them as protectors, and they were big ass German Shepherds. And if he wasn't there, they were always inside. And there was one time when I go there, and this is like in a very rural area. There's 3 houses on this road. And like when you park, you have to. It's a minute to get to the like. It's not a long walk. We're not talking 100 yards or anything. But we'll say maybe 100 feet. 50 to 100 feet, somewhere in that range. I go up there, don't hear anything, and I normally never heard anything until I would say UPS or knock, and. You as a driver and everybody else as a driver, you can tell when a dog is barking from inside the house or when it's barking from outside the house.
Oh, yeah, of course.
immediately when I knocked, I hear them both bark, and I hear their fucking barks echo, and I went, holy fucking shit, they're outside. And dude, I started to run. I started to run because I was far enough away. I was like, man, because I didn't see him. And I took off, and then out of my like right peripheral, I saw him coming, and I fucking stopped because there was no way I was going to make it to the fucking truck.
Yeah.
And that fucking dude, thank God. And he was an old man. Like, he wasn't elderly old, but he was older.
Yeah.
And he came out, and he was whatever their names were, like, and they fucking just sat there. And I mean, he said they wouldn't have attacked me. It would have been like a fucking hound treeing a raccoon or something. Like, they would have fucking barked at me. He's like, they wouldn't have attacked you, but I trained them to do that. And I was like, holy fucking shit, dude. I was like, dude, there was nothing.
Shit your pants moment.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Because there was nothing like, if it's one, I always have a system with the dyad, but they're running like bullets, dude. That dyad wasn't stopping nothing. That was a dyad. Yeah, it was a dyad 5. That thing was just going to piss it off. I'd have thrown it, and it just bounced right off that fucking thing. But yeah, dude, that's probably, but if I heard glass shattering from an aggressive dog, I would have that reaction probably. That's good you're in the truck, dude. Can you imagine if you'd have been fucking like up on the porch?
Dude, I would have took off. I would have took off real quick. I wouldn't have known what the fuck was going on. Fucking window breaks all of a sudden, I'm out.
Oh, dude. Yeah, and now it's funny because if she just knew the methods, she probably could get UPS to pay for that window, but yet
I was worried about that.
You can't get charged with property damage. It wasn't your fault. You did what you were supposed to do. You beeped. Dog. You fucking are supposed to tap the horn when you're backing up. You did exactly what you're supposed to do, but the tapping of that horn tweaked that fucking big ass Mastiff
wires
King Corso, whatever. So. I mean, I'm just saying, if you're saying this is a little petite blonde woman in her 50s, this isn't me walking in there being like, they could look at me and be like, yeah, you could hold this dog. If they see this woman, they'd probably be like, yeah, this dog would just take her through the window too. Maybe we should pay for it. But yeah, dude, you tap the fucking horn. You didn't do anything wrong. That would be incredible to try to see. If imagine somewhere, not if UPS would pay for it. I don't think. Just imagine if you're at a building where you are at odds with like a supervisor or something, and they would try to charge you with an accident with property damage, and when you have to write it up, and you're like, I went directly into the pavement, not in the grass. Folded in my mirror, or before I folded in my mirror and put the four-way flashers on, I had to back up a little bit, so I tapped the horn, and the dog. Can you imagine?
Dude, I didn't even back up though. I literally was approaching it, and then just creating awareness.
Well, that's your creating awareness. Yeah. That's even better.
You're not the dog was outside. Or whatever.
They would say he pulled up on the street and tapped the horn. And the window broke. That's property damage. Dude, that
sound waves of the horn.
That would be incredible if there was somebody out there that tried to charge somebody.
I mean, it probably has happened, dude. 100%.
How can you though? That's literally part of the methods that we have written out.
We've read, seen enough stories.
That's true.
Stupidest shit that they tried. It just happened with Moore. Moore was telling a story in the Discord, and that she just got written up for something that wasn't even her fault. Like,
yeah, that's true, man. If they put the target on your back, they'll fucking try.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm sure that's happened before. But yeah, that's a good question of the week, though. I think we're gonna do that.
Tap the horn. Dog breaks a window.
Like, craziest moment with a dog. Dog versus delivery driver.
I mean, dude. I don't know. It's just it's an unheard of thing, but that would be it'd be a scary fucking sound to hear, dude. Especially with an aggressive one.
Yeah, it was a good time. Good time.
So yeah, at least now you know that cardboard's gonna just do the job and completely restrain it till it gets
So-
a bit that gets your confidence up.
So like what ended up happening just recently too, because like I said, her house is in the middle of like these cornfields, literally cornfields, farmland on both sides, in front of her, sides of her, around her. But for her property, she recently put up a new fence. She recently had a fence installed around her property, and she's got a pretty
nice.
large property too, a bunch of grass and a huge fence, gate at the driveway. And so like I knew that if the dog got out, it would have been like fenced in. But before the fence, she had the electric collar flags, like, stuck in the ground, the dog watch flags.
Yeah,
And like, and so like I realized, I was like, fuck, like she's getting an electric fence for this dog. This dog that's a psychopath, and I have to come to this house worrying about the dog breaking through the fucking electric fence, not giving a fuck.
She better have that voltage cranked up.
Dude. So like that was my first thought when this whole thing first started happening. But then I saw eventually she started having a fence put in, and I was like, okay, that's not bad. But like, I don't know, man. Like, and like her driveway is probably about 20 yards from her house. Like the entrance to her driveway is probably about 20 yards from her house. And like, I'm just thinking about just leaving it there so I don't go by the house, because I don't want to fucking cause a problem with the dog.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man. There's times where, that can be there are, there's notes in every route of, you'll see mean dog will bite. And, if you're a cover driver, that is, it's pretty vital to know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and this has been years ago, and I've told this story on the podcast years ago as well. But there was a dog that it became aggressive. Like over time. And I don't know, just sometimes that happens. I don't know. It was always friendly, and then it just turned into an asshole out of nowhere. It wasn't really like because it got older. It was kind of, it wasn't really, I'd say if I had to guess, it was in like the 4 to 6 year range. You know what I mean? And, but he had an electric fence, and I always knew where it was, but he was not like, excuse me, he was always out there like in sight. And when he became an asshole, he didn't, he was like a pissed off dog that didn't want you there. You obviously could tell. And I never got bit, but I never said anything, because it was when I started, it was like when my first year I had the route that I'm on, and it wasn't even one of our guys. It was actually a FedEx driver, but he got the FedEx driver pretty good. And they said something about like, I mean, he was all right, but he fucked him up. Like it was ripped his leg up pretty good. He was out of work for I'm not going to say it was as bad as Dusty. Shout out to old bald bearded bastard. But it was probably the second worst fucking dog bite picture I'd seen. And they got mad at me because I was like, oh yeah, that dog's a dickhead. And they were like, you knew? I was like, yeah, I probably should have said something, but I was like, I didn't fucking, but yeah, man, I didn't want him to have to stay inside, but that's also a kind of an asshole thing to do. So yeah, dude, if you got to look out for yourself, especially if it's a dog that size, dude, because that's a dog that that's a dog you're not just going to fucking shove off, if it's that size, dude. So yeah, you really got to be careful on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I mean, also something else out there on the route, obviously with the weather getting nicer, I want to talk about this because it's fucking funny, and I know we've all seen it. But with the weather getting nicer and working out on a rural route, everybody's out skinny dipping now in their pools. Like people just do it.
Oh,
I
don't see that. But...
Yeah, no.
Nah, but I don't
How do
have
you,
really.
How do you ever?
Skinny dipping? Not that I can recall. I really can't because
Dude,
when
it's probably happened to me at least like 5 times in my career.
Yeah,
Like
because
I've pulled into people's driveways, and they're back in the woods, and they just do their thing.
I've never seen skinny dipping. I've just seen people. I saw people naked sitting in their living room. Like they weren't banging. They were just both naked.
They were just chilling,
and they
letting it all hang out.
Yeah. She screamed. He said, "Sorry, buddy." It's all right.
You got it, dude. but like, it's just so funny because like, I wasn't anywhere like near the pool, but I could see it. And, when they realized that I was there, husband and wife, I would assume, were the two that were in there, whatever. And when they hear the truck, and you roll up, it's just, they just turn around, and here they are trying to hustle their way to the other side of the pool in the water. Like they're not going to go belly up and just start swimming, because then their ass will be out. Right. So, like, you ever try to walk fast in a pool? It just doesn't work out.
No, it doesn't.
And here they are just like trying to paddle their way forward and shit. Just go down to your shoulders, and then I wouldn't even knew.
Yeah,
just be like,
they just
hey.
panic. They panic.
Yeah, just leave it. Just leave it over there. Thanks. No, but yeah, full panic, dude. They were like trying to paddle their way through the fucking water. That's like, here's a little tidbit. Just sit still. Just stand there. Go down to your shoulders, whatever. Just leave it right there, bud. Like, I wasn't gonna go back there because I saw it, obviously. But like, I was gonna be like, "Hey, I have one for you. Mind if I join?"
Yeah,
he wasn't. Like, that's not gonna happen.
Mind if I join? Yeah, like, I need a signature up here. Whoa, hey, what's going on in here? Huh?
No, right. It's not gonna be like that. Like, but dude, it's just, our customers are great. But yeah, dude, that was my week. My softball game got rained out because it rains every fucking weekend up here in upstate New York now, and just
seems to be a trend. And I feel like this would
was
be about
a great
the perfect
segue. I'm sorry,
perfect intro.
Dude, I didn't even think about it. It just fucking happened. I love it.
It did. Let's go. That's so. As we had Fernando on last week, shout out to Fernando Loaiza, and we recorded, that was the day before Father's Day. So this will be a Father's Day that I will never fucking forget, because I've really never experienced anything like this before. And I'll just say, I'm 40 years old, and I've never really witnessed a flash flood, like a real one, a legit one. And now that I have, I can literally say, holy shit, I understand now at 40 why the fuck they're called flash floods. So, and the kind of funny thing is how this all got started was, I'd got my boat in the water finally the day before, in the, Ashley's dad has the truck, and he met us down at the docks, and we came out and got it taken care of, got it put in, and I was going to go put gas in the boat the following day, and I just use my containers that I use for the lawnmower. So I have a extra one, so I don't have to just refill one continuously. I can go down there with two and put a dent in it. So my nephew had a basketball tournament over the weekend, and it was in the southern part of the state. That's a little bit of a drive, about 2.5, 3 hours away. So my parents, they were down there for that, and excuse me, I told my dad that, I said, well, I'm going to run out tomorrow. They were getting home Sunday. I said, I'll run out, and I said, I'll stop over and see you, because it was Father's Day, I was going to swing by. And So I take my Buick because when I have these containers, if I spill any gas in the car, if people that have had it, gas fucking stinks. And my daughter rides in our Jeep. That's what her car seat's in. And I don't, so if I'm putting gas in, I always take my Buick. So this is a very, very important part of this story because this Buick sits very low to the ground. Very fucking low to the ground. So I go to see my dad, and I'm there for about an hour and a half, and kind of in the middle of the visit, getting towards maybe the end, it started to rain, and it rained, and like it was crazy because the lightning was. The storm was so close. You know how they say when lightning flashes and how quick you hear thunder is how close it is. So when the lightning was flashing, it was like flash bang. Like it was like the thunder was almost in unison with the lightning. And it was like, holy shit, that's fucking right here. Damn. And so where my folks live at, it's kind of like down in a cul-de-sac. So I'm seeing this water just swirling around this fucking, like the sewage drain there. Well, not sewage drain, but just storm drain there on the road. And, get the alert on my phone, like flash floods, stay put, don't go in any areas, blood. And I'm like, you get those alerts, and I'm like, I just take it with a grain of salt. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, I'm going to leave soon. I'm going to wait for the rain to let up. And I'll wait like another 10 minutes. The rain just is not fucking letting up. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, none of us have any idea like what the fuck is about. So I tell my dad, tell him I love him. Like, yep. So if I see any high water, I'll text you when I get home. Let you see. I'm thinking high water. It's like not floods. Fuck.
Yeah.
So I leave and now, mind you, I live about 10, 15 minutes away I can get there in less than 15 minutes to their house normally. Mm-hmm. And so I get to the entryway to go get on the main road, and it's flooded. I mean, if I would have been going to the right and not the left, I wouldn't have been going. Dude, water's fucking raging. I'm like, holy fucking shit. I'm in this 97 Buick LeSabre. I just got new tires in this thing, but I'm sitting about 2 inches off the ground. There's fucking huge rocks because there's like we got like 4 inches of rain in 15 minutes. It was something insane, dude. And it was like all this runoff from the fucking hills. There was shit everywhere. And I'm like, so I go left and go up. So this is hillside called Crematory Hill, and I'm fucking going up that way. And I know I'm in elevation, so I'm like, I'm not going to see any fucking flooding here. But dude, it's raining so fucking hard, like I can barely see.
You can't see anything, even if it was flooded.
Dude. And so I get to go down. So like where I went to college at, and mind you, this is nowhere near a body of water. Like, there's not a fucking river or anything that's right there. It's
what there is now.
Well, no, it's gone now. But it fucking there was. And so like I keep going, and the fucking hilarious thing. Well, I mean, it's hilarious now to look on, but so like a fucking big ass box truck drives by me. And it's so fucking because of the runoff and shit. There's just mud, and he fucking smashes my windshield. So I've got this caked ass mud. I'm fucking my wipers I got going as fast as I can. I can't see shit. And I finally get
it off, smearing it.
I get that mud off, and then I hear whoosh, and I look down, and dude, I'm just driving in fucking water, and I'm like, gee, what the fuck is going on? Like, dude, I just gunned out of there. Somehow it wasn't in a very high area. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? How is this? Like, I'm already baffled, thinking I can go through Locust Avenue where the college I went to is. Dude, I get to the bottom of it, and I'm sitting there like adjusting my eyes. I'm like, is this that flooded? Dude, I'm seeing trucks underwater. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like, I'm seeing trucks that tried to got caught in this shit. And there's like people sitting on their fucking top of it. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is, like, dude, it was, so obviously can't go that way. I try to go back in town, and there's a back road that I can get home that I take home for work. Sorry, a lot of talking because I fucking, I should have hydrated more today, but end of the week, a lot of energy drinks. But so I go the back way that I go to work thinking I can go that way. Dude, it looks like a fucking rapid river. There's no road. It's just fucking, it looks like a river is coming out of the road. There's no, like, it's like, there's nowhere to go. It's fucking, and then it's flying into the main road, going into the river, where not far from where my boat is. Can't go that way. The last thing I was able to do was to go back, get on the highway. The last place that I had, because this is like the area close that I deliver to, so I know it pretty well. And I take one last side road to get home, and it had just broke over the road, and the barrier of it was fucking raging, and I saw it break the road. So I was like, it's now or never, and I fucking gunned it as hard as I could, and I didn't go like too fast because I didn't want to lose control once I hit it, but I knew I made it, and another few seconds, dude, it was completely fucking underwater. Trees fell down. It was dude, it was the fucking craziest thing I've ever experienced driving, because there was it made me realize how dangerous water can be, because you can't fucking do anything, dude. Like, it doesn't matter what the fuck you're driving. You can't do, dude, there's nothing you can do. You're literally stranded. And like the whole time my basement's taking in water, fucking Ashley sends me this picture. It looks like somebody shot the side of a boat, and I'm like, what the and I can't get to it, dude. And I'm just like, and dude, that was probably the worst part, because I knew Ashley was freaking out about that because she couldn't go upstairs, and Willow had the sense that something was wrong, and that fucking bothered me, because that was like the first time that I couldn't be there. And it fucked with me, because I hated that. I was like, man, that was like for the first time ever that she might have been like scared and worried, and I was helpless. And I know that'll happen again, but damn, that was the first time, and I don't like it. But dude, it was nobody in the northern part of the state, they got hit a lot harder than we did. There was 7 people that passed away from flooding in Wheeling, but we didn't lose anybody here, but a lot of fucking damage, dude. There are roads that are still, I think, like a couple side roads that are still inaccessible, like just the fucking roads completely washed caved out in, and just it's fucking, and a lot of these people, this is hard. This is going to be hard for me not to rant about this for a while, but you're a homeowner, so you pay insurance. You have homeowners insurance, so you get it. And a lot of these people don't have flood insurance, because most of them, pretty much all of them weren't in flood zones. So nobody had. And now, like, people's found, like, there's people that I've heard just from work, through delivering and talking to people. There's people that had, like, their foundations are fucking fucked, and they're done. Like, they can't, like, they're not, the insurance isn't covering shit, and the foundation of their house is completely fucking shifted or about to you know what I mean? It's like, dude, you're just, and that it's fucking, it's bullshit that you can, just because of a fucking loophole of how policy is, you can pay your fucking homeowner's insurance for 20, 30 fucking years and never have anything happen, and then something like this happen, and you're just screwed. and it isn't fucking right, dude. And I've seen that. I've seen that was probably the shittiest part, and I think that might be why I was so tired more than actual work, was just because it, like I was telling you earlier in the week, dude, normally when we deliver to people, for the most part, people are happy to see us, and it's normally a good interaction, and you kind of, and dude, just seeing people delivering to people, just seeing the look of fucking defeat on their face, or like just stress to the max, like what the fuck are you gonna do? And it just, dude, it just sucks. Like and we didn't get it as bad as a lot of people did, but it made us realize here we got plenty of work to do in our own basement from what water we did get in. And you just kind of rally together and you just got to move on from it and try to repair it the best you can. But like the people, and to say that sounds so assholish, to say that to somebody that can't get insurance to cover the foundation of their house caving in, and they're probably going to be fucking homeless. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's to say it like that's easy to say, but it's, man, it was a rough, but it's just that's the one natural disaster that we're pretty susceptible to, is flooding, because of the mountains and shit. We don't get fucking tornadoes or hurricanes or earthquakes or anything, but dude, flooding will get us, and it hit us hard, man. But that was Father's Day number 3, and I can say that I hope I never have another Father's Day like that again. But dude, it was crazy, because what's even fucking crazier was I almost took Willow with me, but I was going to put gas. I was like, nah, we had plans later, and I was like, dude, I'm so fucking glad I didn't, because you want to talk about stress to the max. Oh man, but yeah, that was what I was meaning earlier when I said the water. Come here and let me see you.
Yeah.
Phew. Man, that was a lot. But I mean, it was kind of like, to say it was as far as driving in it. I hate to say it like in a way, but it was it was stressful. But man, it still is kind of like, I get excited to drive in shit weather, and I kind of get like, I'm like, let's fucking go. But man, like there's times like I'm looking at them trucks that are like floating, like the axles are sticking up in the ground. I'm like, dude, these fucking guys, these fucking idiots. Like, you can see the fucking. I'm not trying to talk shit on everybody. I know the flash flood thing, a lot of people got caught, but the trucks that were in the entry that were floating, I'm like, dude, you can see on the side, this shit's high. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? But people want to. People just want to. Yeah, they just think they're fucking. If you're a Dodge or a Chevy guy, if you're one of them diehard Ford or Chevy rivals, just know your Ford and or Chevy isn't making through 6 feet of water. just going to fucking give you that spoiler alert right now. But
nope.
Shit.
Here's a follow up though. So I know we had a little episode about my old chiropractor. So just to give people an update on what was happening with that. So he went to court. He went to like the local, city court and town court, whatever it's called. I think that's it, town court, yeah. Or city court. Anyways, that's besides the fact. And the judge ended up saying that I'm not going to handle this. This is going to go to county. And so he went to county court just last week, and he ended up pleading guilty to all the charges. And so I'm sure there's some sort of benefit by him doing that. Like, his sentencing might be a little shorter now because, he's not being sentenced until September.
Yeah.
So he's still got a few months. But yeah, a little update for people. That scumbag He's a scumbag.
If we, I think like we had said, if he gets charged federally, it's not going to matter. And I think you said this was just for the state, and that's probably why he pled, or town. Yeah, but the state charges, though. Right.
Not town, fucking county. Jesus Christ, David.
Right.
County.
But state of New York charges against him are way less severe than the federal charges.
Right.
That's where they'll get him. Right. So, but I mean, they got to, dude.
But I mean, hey, we know how the prison system is, and those inmates have they have their unspoken
got a code, man.
Unspoken rules.
They don't like child molesters or rapists either. Surprise, surprise.
Nope.
But yeah, man.
I think the system will get him when he goes to jail.
Dude, the system is going to love him. They'll love him first, and then they might get him. Oh, man. Yeah. I'll tell you, I had another one in the dock, but I don't know if I want to get into it now. I don't want to leave it as a cliffhanger like that, but I'll just go ahead and bring it up. I'm going to summarize it because I did put it in the docs, and I feel like it was we had I don't know exactly when the election is, but we have been hearing talks of people that are trying to signing interest of somebody else being elected as the Teamsters president aside from Sean O'Brien. And I guess do they have an actual election scheduled normally, or do they we have kind of like we just vote it, and you know what I mean?
No,
they have scheduled.
Yeah.
They have it scheduled. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess he has right now, there's nobody running against him. Is that correct? That we know of? Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to say that to make it, because I know he hasn't been very popular with a lot of people in the union, and I feel like that probably is because it was probably the first time ever that the Teamsters didn't back a Democrat president, and they stayed neutral. And I just wanted to say I'm not getting into anything political, just on my past with UPS that I've seen. And I mean, it's a little political, but it's more of a story. I've said before, we both have said that we don't care if you're a red elephant or a blue donkey, or if you're independent. If you want to, you believe in what you believe in and trust in it, and you vote how you want to vote. We don't care. But when I started was the last year that George W. was president. So when Obama and Joe Biden were running in 2008, our business agents and our people at our local were out almost weekly for probably a month leading up to the election, just handing out Obama, Biden pins, pamphlets, and really pushing. And it might have been because, I don't really know. I mean, I know George W. Bush was a Republican, so his history was they probably didn't have the greatest relationship. So maybe they were just pushing it more because of that. But I'll just say, like, with how Obamacare worked with our insurance, it ended up they raised their dues on us, and that was not really a very popular thing that, people would be, nobody wants to have to pay more money. But in 2012, they weren't handing out. I mean, I know they still backed Obama, but they weren't handing out pamphlets and pins and stuff like they were doing 4 years prior. And my point is that if I want to, we're going to be around unions. I know unions, they get, sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down, but we're we're here and we're not going anywhere. So I would just say to try your best to, if I don't think that Sean O'Brien, as far as the contract and stuff, I don't like how a lot of things are handled, but I don't think he's done a bad job compared to his predecessor. And that was the one that I think that Hoffa, I know he's not Hoffa Jr., but Hoffa the son, he used the 49% bullshit when we voted that contract down, and he passed it. And it's like, I mean, he fucking sold us out. He fucking sold us out, and then he got out. So I wouldn't worry so much of the politics. We got our own fucking politics plenty within the union. So if somebody comes in that I'll say for myself, I can't speak for all of you. You all would say, but if somebody comes in, it doesn't matter if they support, whoever the next Democrat nominee is. It doesn't matter if they're supporting. If I like them better than Sean O'Brien, I would vote for him. It doesn't matter for me. And that's how, it's the same way with politics, dude. I've done that. I voted, going back to Obama, I voted for Obama in 2008 because I was a year into UPS and I thought that I was really like, yeah, I'm union. This is really good for us. Like, and then like 4 years later, I'm like, shit kind of didn't really, there's some stuff, but like shit doesn't really, I don't feel like it ever euphorically changes. Or maybe I'm just that cynical. I don't fucking know, but I feel like a lot of people would agree. And in 2012, I voted for him again, but it was really because I liked him better than Mitt Romney. I wasn't like, hoorah, great, yeah, like all go getter. I was like, and it's just, I wish it could be more of that now, which I know saying that in that world's impossible, but going back to the Teamsters president, yeah, if they put somebody in there that you like better, vote it how you want. I just think that if it's solely because he didn't back the Republicans either. So I've always wondered, like, he didn't really, we stayed neutral on it. So I don't think it's as bad, but whatever. I know there's a lot of people that are old school that will never, but whatever.
Punching their steering wheels right now listening to this.
I know, probably, but that was what that was just my story with it, that I feel like as far as the political stuff goes with it, it doesn't really, it's more of it's as far as our team, it's more of the person. Yeah. It's the person. And if they find somebody better, then we'll go with them. But try to look past that part if it's possible. God, I say that now. I'm saying that laughing inside like, yeah, what year are we in? I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. So crazy weeks here for both of us.
Very.
Thank God it's over. And a new one is about to begin.
Yeah, dude. Willow will be 3 years old at the end of this next one. And it's kind of, dude, man. It's it hasn't sunk in that, like, my God, she's just creeping closer to kindergarten. And oh man, but yeah, I have some family coming in. All my dad's sisters, all my aunts all live scattered about. Nobody lives close, so they're all coming in. Mm-hmm. It'll be nice to see everybody. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. Just not the fucking heat.
The heat.
You got it a little bit worse than me, but everybody, it's going to be hot just about everywhere. So everybody, when you hear this if you listen to this on Monday, stay hydrated.
Up here in the Northeast on Monday, 98 degrees. Tuesday on great band, 98 degrees. I'm just kidding. On Tuesday, 99 degrees. I mean, we're bring it on, baby. Everybody in Arizona, like Fernando and California, they're all laughing at me right now as I'm talking about this, as we're talking about the heat.
Dude, I'll say this before we go, though. The heat, they would laugh at us because of the Fahrenheit degrees, but dude, if we get humidity, I'm going to tell you right now, because of all that fucking, from the rain and the flooding and shit, on Tuesday, it didn't rain at all. It was like the only day it didn't rain until today, thank God. But it was so muggy just because of the moisture. You know what I mean, dude? And I'm dying. I'm sweating. I got my fucking cooling rag. I'm putting it around. And dude, I'm fucking struggling. And I look at my phone and it says 79 degrees. And I'm like, no fucking way. This is 79 degrees out here right now. And I go down to the humidity, dude, and it's 94%. And I went, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. Man, if it's 94%, yeah, we can't have that with 90. You can't have that with 99 degrees, man.
No.
You'd be done. Oh. That'd be, dude, can you imagine? You would, like, how could you work in that?
I'm about to find out if I make it.
Dude, Jesus not if it's, Christ. Hopefully you don't have to fucking work in 94% humidity, dude. Jesus.
I mean,
I hope nobody does. Somebody
it's going to be hot as balls. Like, there's no doubt about that. It is going to be hot, bro.
Oh, man.
Like, I'm about to pack, like, 10 waters, 10 Gatorades, like, all for just one day. Because I'm going to have to keep doing fucking fuel.
Oh, dude. I know.
Maybe I'll find a customer's pool or two. Maybe they'll be in it too. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, you know.
They'll say you can only get in here if you skinny dip, but they don't want that. They don't want that dirty ass uniform in their pool.
Hell no, man. Can you imagine what that would look like? I jump in, all of a sudden it's a cloud of dirt.
Yeah, you'd look like that kid that peed in the pool. It's like the chlorine that puts a ring around him or what.
Yeah,
you remember that shit?
Oh yeah, dude. It was like a blue guy. Oh yeah.
Oh man, whoever thought of that? What a savage move! Fucking genius, but savage move.
Craziness.
Dude just got tired of dude or lady, whoever invented that. They got tired of everybody just pissing in pools. Had to call them out.
Yeah. No doubt. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for this one, bud.
I think so, brother. I think so.
Cool. Guys, if you haven't yet, go join the Discord chat, huh? We're talking it up. People, I mean, it's just like Fernando said too, it is a place where, you know, if, you know, you can literally go to other drivers for anything.
Absolutely.
So yeah, come join the Discord chat. It's in the description of the episode. Patreon as well, patreon.com/AITDpod. Link is in the episode description there as well. Everybody, be safe, stay hydrated, and I'm Dave, my co-host Luke. Everybody, we'll see you all next week.
Later, everybody.